Can I just go live? No. Come on. Okay, so let's start this over. Okay, so after I've done all this, so there's a few things that need to be known. You won't be able to open any of the assets in that we drew unless you get Blender first. So you will have to navigate to Blender. You just go to Google and just type Blender really download. And like I was explaining before, the Blender that I have is 2.79, but as I looked at Blender 2.8, it is much better. You should get Blender 2.8. Once you download it and install it, it will look like this. Which is, as I noticed, way better than the old version. It's very different because, oh, I thought that was oh, I could have chosen left click or right click. Anyways, it's got this little gizmo here that can be used to move things around, or the middle mouse click. Also, this is my favorite feature, looking at the top, left and right without having to go. We used to have to go to view and choose those views, or have a keyboard that has a numpad. This doesn't need it anymore. So once you get Blender, you'll have to navigate to the folder where the assets are, the ones that we've drawn. For me, they are here on the desktop. Oh, it's weird. I've just done this entire video, so I've downloaded the project. So let's. Oh, Blender looks really good these days. Anyways, so downloading Blender is required in order to look at the assets in our project. I'm not sure if you've downloaded Unity or the Unity Hub. In either case, Unity Hub is the best way to go. You would say download Unity Hub. And one of the first links here, there we go. Download Unity Hub. So once you download it and install it, if you have already downloaded Unity, don't worry about it. Just download the hub. If you download the hub, you're good. Then once you open it, so the hub is a way to it's a program that kind of gathers all of the Unity versions that you have on your computer. If you've downloaded the Unity hub, the Unity by itself, and then the hub, then you would have to locate the project by just saying add. Oh, sorry. You would have to locate the Unity version. So you want the hub to know where your Unity is. I have 3 different Unities on this program, on this computer. I have Unity 5, 2018 4.5, 4.4, and 4.29, and 2017 4.29. I might delete this one at some point. So if you have nothing here, and you have Unity already, you'd have to say locate and find where your Unity is. Most of the time it's in the C drive, program files, and if you scroll down, you will find Unity. You probably won't have hub, but you'll have to find something that says editor. Just keep on clicking in the folders of Unity until you find something that says editor. This will probably not look like that, but what you're really searching for is in another editor, I guess, is ultimately you need to find a unity.exe. This is what you are looking for, to link the hub to the Unity that you have on your computer, right? So once you find it and you say select, then it'll pop up here. If you've downloaded the hub first and not Unity, then you'd have to download a Unity. So you just say add, And the version that we're using is 2018.4 for anything. Okay, 4.6, 7, whatever they have, not 2019 and not 2017 if they're still supporting it. One thing to know is a version 4. So they'll do 2017 version 1, 2, 3, 4, blah, blah, blah. But something special happens at 4. There's an LTS. It's a long-term service. That means that in the earlier versions of the main number, there are features, there are main features that keep on getting changed. They change things and change and change. But after 4, the main features remain. So you're sure that whatever works for you just stays. And anything that they add after is extra. So just as long as you have a point 4, you're good to go. Here it says LTS on it. See, the 2019 did not even reach the LTS level yet. They're still working on it. So you would click 2018.4.6 and go next. It's going to download it and install it for you. And yeah, the hub is a great way of having all of your Unities together. Oh, plus there are modules to download. Like what you will want is the once you download it, it's going to ask you. Let's see if we do an example. Let's say I want to add this one. Say done. It's going to ask you what you want to add, like what kind of modules you want to add. Most likely you will choose the IL2CPP. It's called Intermediate Language to C++. You will want to have the Android, right? It's weird that it has not asked me yet. Yeah, I think it's just downloading it and it's not even asking me. I should not be downloading it right now because I'm streaming. But once you download it, at some point there's going to be a list of modules that you want. Just remember you want this IL to CPP. See, it says Windows Build Support. This one is for making games that can be viewed online. This one is for Apple stuff, but you know what? Don't even touch that yet because you need a $100 subscription, a yearly subscription. You don't need that. You're probably not going to get to that at this point. If you want to put your games on iOS, you need a license. Plus, you will need an actual Macintosh computer to do the final build. You can build a game for anything on your PC, but to put it on an iPad or an iPhone, you need to plug it to a Mac computer, right? Um, you will need this one, the Android. So there's going to be a list of modules. Remember, these two are the ones you want: IL2CPP and Android build. Okay, and that's going to be. Then I'll do another tutorial on how to put it on phone. It's super easy. So you've downloaded and installed Blender, you've downloaded and installed the hub. Now you're going to get to download the project. As I sent you the link, the project is Blubbly Blue here. You'll do download the zip file. Most likely you have a way to zip and unzip folders. If you don't, then the best one is 7-zip. So you'll have to download 7-zip, and it's going to ask you if you want the 32-bit or the 64-bit one. Most likely you have the 64-bit one, but if you want to check, you can just go to the Windows and you just type in System, Enter for System Information, and under System Information you will find System type is 64-bit. That's the type of your processor. It's how big the bus is. This can transfer 64-bit of information on every tick. Yes, it gets complicated, but most likely if you have an i5 or an i7, it's 64-bit. And that's important because if you have a 32-bit computer, you cannot use a 64-bit software, but the opposite way works, but I wouldn't even mess with it. I would just download this exe and install it. Once you've installed it, then you'll have the ability to zip and unzip projects. For example, I've downloaded the project already from GitHub. I went and did download zip. It put it on my desktop. Right? Let's just remove this one. I did this video already. What? The location is not what? Don't need this. Why is it saying this? This was an article that I tried to download, and for some reason, okay, it's gone. Okay, so Lucien project. If you after you have 7-zip on, when you right-click on a folder or something, you'll have this 7-zip extension here. In which case, you can say extract file or extract all. This will just ask you where do you want to extract. You select where you want it to be extracted. In this case, the desktop. It'll unzip or uncompress all of the files, and you will see them in the folder that I opened. Zipping and unzipping is pretty cool. This is what it looks like. Let's say you have a folder and you call it test folder, right? Let's say you have a folder and in it you have some pictures, let's say. Let's go to the pictures. Let's take this up to here. Copy. Paste. This folder is under property 6.24 megabytes. If I were to zip it or compress it with 7-zip, add to test 7-zip, you will see that it popped up here, and this is the same folder but more compressed. If you look at the size of it, it's only 5 megs. We've saved about 1 meg, not big, but for bigger folders it actually saves you a lot of space. So most of the time you will download a folder that is already zipped. Let's remove the original one. What is this? Unavailable. Make sure that is weird. Every time I try to delete something, it tells me that. Location not available. I don't know what that means. I'll have to check it out later. Something funky happened. Most likely it'll get fixed by just turning it off and on. So let's see. I'd go to 7-zip, extract here, and the folder should be back out. There it is. I have everything in alphabetical order. That's why auto arrange icons. So I'm not going to do that. Sort by date modified. Again, sort by date modified. So now, yeah, there we go. This is the latest. My folder is back the way it was. So I compressed it and uncompressed it. Let's see if this is going to give me the same shit. Oh, now I can delete stuff. Great. I don't know what happened there. Okay, so 7-zip is important to have, or don't get WinZip, because WinZip is free at first, but then they ask you for money. 7-zip, it does the same thing, and it's free forever. The other program that is super good to have, I'll show you 2 more that are really good to have. One is called Everything, and you would have to download it from, just type in everything. And it's a tool made by Void Tools, and you'd say download the installer 64-bit, and what it does is it searches for anything on your computer, but way faster than what Windows gives you. Windows gives you this little search bar. When you install everything, you actually have this orange bar, which searches for anything on your computer as you type stry cur. It finds all the files that have that word in it. It's super fast, it's the best search tool I've ever seen, and one of the best features that it has too is you can search from within a folder. So let's say you don't know where we put the those Blender files in this folder. You know they're in assets, but you don't know exactly where. You just right click on the folder and say search everything. And let's say you want to find the .blend, and here they are. Here are the 3 Blender files that are somewhere in these folders. Isn't that great? You'll never have to remember where you put anything. The other thing is WinDirStat. WinDirStat. It's Windows Directory Status. It is also a super amazing tool for looking at how much space you're using on your computer and where how big the files are. So you download Permalink, and you would come down here to latest installer WinDirStat. And what that does, so for example, I don't even know where I put it on my computer. I'm just going to search for it. Okay, WinDirStat. What that does, my friend, is it crunches through all the folders that you have on your computer, and kind of looks like little Pac-Man crunching through each one of the folders. When this is done, it's going to show you a visual representation of all the files on your computer, and it'll show you by size ratio how big the files are. So you'll be able to see where the big files are, and if you want to delete things and you don't know what's taking the most space, this is the best way to do it by far. I have not found anything better than this. The old way was to just remember that you've put stuff in the download folder or whatever, and remember how big your movies are, whatever you have. This is much better, because you see here on Windows, the files themselves they'll tell you how big the files are, but not the folders, which is annoying. For example, it doesn't tell me how big this editor is. I'd have to right click on it, properties, and then, oh, it's going to start counting. Oh, it's like 3, 4 gigs. Oh, great, more, 5. No, WinDirStat is the way to go. Let's see how far it is. Let's see, so yeah. While this does its thing, when you open, the other thing I wanted to show you is if you go to where the project is online, right, and at the end you write //network, you will see all of the save points that we've made, and most likely the save points that I will make as well. So this was the first time we've saved. Second time we made first push completed game, added enemy explosions, uh, lives and spawner, and batch enemy spawning. And if you want to see what's been added, you can just click on that dot, and it'll show you on the left side the old files, and on the right side the new files. So for example, let's find a good. So before there was no file, and then we added a complete file called enemy spawner. Or if you look here in the old game manager, there used to be a line that was number of lives, and then a next line that was a function for spawn player, and then what was added was in between. I've added a reference to my spawner and a reference to the text meshes. So or you will see that before there was this update function, and since it's in red, it's been deleted. This is old, this is new. You don't really have to worry about that, but later you will see that I've added a few dots here, especially if you want something new and you don't know how to do it. Like let's say you want to add a boss and it's too hard and you don't want to know how to do it. I'll just make it for you with like a few some text to show you what I've done, some information, and then you'll see a dot here. If you want to see a big project, let's see, I can go to this, what a big project looks like. I'll show you, yeah, this one is pretty big. It's all the things we've added for our game, branches that were branched out and merged in. So that's what a project, semi-big project looks like. Okay, let's see what Windows had. Oh, it's still crunching. What do I have that's so big? Let's see. So yeah, if you don't have Blender, then you will not even see these guys. Even the game, playing the game, will not show you the guys. The solution is, yeah, downloading Blender. If after downloading Blender this still you can't see it, then just go through the project, right click on the asset itself, show and explore, and then probably right click and open with and choose Blender. Open with, right now it's selecting Blender for me. If it didn't, then you'd have to say more apps and try to find where Blender is. If it's not part of these, you can say look for an app on my PC, and that's when you would have to find Blender. And most likely we've installed it on, let's see, program files, B, Blender Foundations, Blender, and then the exe. And if you do that, the little gizmo guy will open in Blender, and it will let Unity know, oh wow, this is the new Blender. I was not expecting that. That's so cool. I love this new Blender. 2.8 is the way to go for sure. I can't wait to see the other things that they've added. Let's see, how do I even, where's axes? Where do I see the X-ray mode? This is all new to me. I have not seen this one at all. Maybe it's under bones? No, it's not. Maybe it's once I've, what? Oh, I'm in animation. Oh, crap. Yeah, I don't even know this Blender. Armature selected. Motion path. Pose library. How do I move from object mode to selection mode? Pose mode. Object mode. Okay. This looks like this is edit mode. I want object mode. This is the guy's object. I want to get the, why do I find the bones? Hide. Oh, crap. Does this have bones? It should. What the heck? So let's see. Choose the armature. It's visible. Axes names. Ah, B bones. What? Still not showing it? Dude. How do I look at the bones? Armature selected. I don't know. This new Blender is so confusing. So let's see. I'm looking for the thing that says X-ray, and I can't even find it. This definitely looks like we have the bones made. Hey Maya, what's going on? Did you give the food to the horsey?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Carrots.
Oh, that's cool.
And we'll cut it in half and put it to the.
Uh-huh.
The horsey say,
Was he happy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Let's see. I'm looking for the X-ray mode here. Oh, okay, so we have something at least. We have... Oh, oh, oh. I think I have to be in pose mode. Bounds. What's the bound? Does the bone have to be in X-ray mode? I don't know if they have that anymore. Do they have that anymore? Well, when all else fails, render 2.8 X-ray bones.